Hello and welcome to Switch Sport, where we will make short videos about gaming areas. Today we'll talk about the complicated pricing of Nintendo Switch 2 and the pre-order delays for the American markets. First off, let's take a look at the prices all over the world, where we start with Japan, where you can purchase a Switch 2 only for Japanese language though for $341. In the US, it's around currently 450, though it's expected to increase with the tariffs Trump had put on, to Denmark, where it's $615, which is quite expensive. If we just take a look at the price for the US, then it's currently $450 in regards to what Nintendo announced right now. But that's about to change. They delayed the pre-orders for the American markets, and they've created quite a chaos, and that's due to the tariffs. So let's talk a bit about the impact of the tariffs on Nintendo Switch 2. If the Nintendo Switch 2 were produced in Japan, then the price with tariff would be $558, which would be very damaging for the launch of the Switch 2 in the American market. However, the situation is actually quite a lot worse. Sadly, the Switch 2 is produced in Vietnam and China. And as you know, US don't have a good relationship with China right now with tariffs of 125%. But let's isolate it and just look at the tariffs from Vietnam. There, it's 46%, uh, which US announced. Which will increase the price to $657, which is crazy. um, Fortunately, or very unfortunately, actually, then Nintendo is producing the Switch 2 units in China as well. And right now, at today's date, uh, the announced tariffs is 125%, which will increase the price to $1,013, which is enormous, and even beat Denmark at the highest price. And that is crazy. That would not go well for the launch at all and be very damaging for Nintendo. So what Nintendo can do is, or what they will have to do is they have to ensure all the Nintendo Switch 2 they have produced are not sent from China because that tariff is out of line, and they have to ensure all the Nintendo 2 units are sent from Vietnam, and then hope that they can strike a deal between Vietnam and US, and the tariff can fall to 10%. Currently, right now, there's a truce of 90 days where the tariff is at 10%. Maybe you can stabilize there, or not 10%, but tariff is at 10%, and maybe you can stabilize there. Maybe not, but that's what Nintendo is waiting for to see. If it can wait, then it's not that damaging, and then the price would only be $495, which is okay, but it's still damaging for the launch since it's already a very expensive system, which becomes even more expensive for the American market. So what are Nintendo's two options right now? They can hope for the 10% tariff deals, delay the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders to that, and hope that it falls in place and then eat the increased price. 10% is not too much to eat from a hardware system since they earn most of the money from the games. Or they can launch the system at an increased price if nothing changes, but then they will have to hope that later in the year everything falls into place and the price come lower, and then do a relaunch of the system again at the winter holidays with a possible Prime title in the package. And that way they can satisfy the American markets. But right now it's looking very grim for the Nintendo Switch 2 launch for the US. Thank you so much for listening. That was the sweet short news from Switchboard. Have a great day.